Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Warcraft 3 broadcast. Today we're going to be observing a Undead versus Orc on Concealed Hill. Now, I don't know a lot about these players, but I have seen quite a bit from Ente on the websites I'm browsing for Warcraft 3 replay files, and I have seen him play before. He is quite skilled. And the blue Undead username Tanny Mommy, I believe this is a formerly pro player, or at least very high level player, Ente. So I think I prefer the name Ente to Tanny Mommy. Doesn't spell it quite like the Pokemon, but I've always liked that name. Might not even be pronouncing it correctly, but I'll be referring to the blue Undead as Ente and the teal Orc as Ente. Ente versus Ente here on Concealed Hill. This should be a pretty high level match. I'm excited to see what happens. Patch 1.32, the latest build of the game. Lots of balance changes have been made, and I haven't seen much Orc versus Undead yet, so this should be interesting. It's pretty much uncharted territory, you know, with all these patches coming out in preparation for Warcraft 3 Reforged. We're seeing a lot of new strategies, people just kind of trying to figure out their play style with all these recent changes, and that is what makes it so exciting. And you know, just casting the regular BattleNet ladder matches, you find a lot of people experimenting with new stuff, and so hopefully that's what we get here today. And we are seeing a starter Dreadlord from Ente, and I believe he is pathing that Dreadlord directly into his enemy's base, and he's going to be going up against the Blademaster and a very fast tech here from Ente. This is the second time I've seen recently of Orc players teching to tier 2 before even building a a barracks. So he's going to be super vulnerable, but with the Blademaster at level 1, he can pretty much keep tabs on his enemy and deal a level of harass that is difficult to deal with just by himself, which will of course buy time for that early tech. So we're seeing 4 ghouls, level 1 vampiric aura, and a Dreadlord start on this Green Creek camp over here for Ente, and Ente's Blademaster is quickly en route to scope things out. He definitely knew where Ente would be going first, but thankfully for Ente, he was able to clear that creep camp before any of those last hits could be stolen by the Blademaster. And normally you would be concerned about a surround with a strategy like this from the Undead player, but it is the Blademaster we're talking about, and Windwalk pretty much prevents any surround from going down as long as the Blademaster has mana. So he is trying to get in as much harass as he can on the Dreadlord. Really, I think Ente's just trying to buy time for his really fast tech here, and I'm not surprised to see that strategy. But keeping the Dreadlord on the Blight and getting in those auto attacks with his Vamp Aura, he is able to heal pretty effectively against that harass. I am surprised to see him turtling up in his base this much, though. It would appear that he is afraid of that level 1 Blademaster, does not want to deal with him until he has a couple more units out, and this is a pretty effective strategy from Ente, from Ente, as his tier 2 is almost completed and still no barracks. If he wasn't playing this aggressively, he probably would not be getting away with this right now. He has 0 units on the field besides peons and this Blademaster, and there's the Dust of Appearance that Ente got from his shop. And that is pretty much going to counter this Blademaster and keep him away while the Dreadlord resumes his creep path. If only Ente knew how aggressive a tech strategy Ente was using right now, he would just go all in with ghouls on the enemy's base. But he is instead trying to gather as much experience as he can, and probably some of it does look like that last hit was taken by the Blademaster. He does not have enough mana for a Windwalk right now, although he is close, which forced that Scroll of Town Portal. Well played by the Undead player, knowing when the Blademaster was below the mana threshold for another Windwalk and using that sleep, which he just unlocked at level 2. So now we see 2 structures coming down. It looks like Ente is going straight into tier 2 units, skipping tier 1 altogether. 2 bestiaries, which means we'll probably see raiders coming out of here. We could also see a mass Wind Rider strategy, which could catch his enemy by surprise if he does it fast enough. Very interested to see what he does there. Graveyard and Necropolis on the way for the Undead player. We'll probably see him transition to Crypt Fiends, or maybe he might just go straight melee, considering he did start with the Dreadlord and wants to make use of that Vamp Aura as much as possible. Crypt Fiends do not gain the bonus of Vamp Aura because they attack with range. Not super effective harass here. Will he get the last hit on the Magi? No, he does not. The Dust of Appearance plus Sleep is pretty handily dealing with that Blademaster, and I think that Ente probably has an idea of his opponent's strategy now, considering the timing on this Tauren Chieftain came up here and just BM'd with 2 consecutive stomps. That might be an effective surround on the Blademaster for the kill, but he barely gets out of there with 21 HP, and he does give up the surround on the Tauren Chieftain. If only there was a Carrion Swarm, you could get a double kill on the enemy's heroes here, but barely gets that Tauren Chieftain out. And he passes the Boots of Speed from the Blademaster to the Tauren Chieftain to get him home safely, and he does the healing salve in his opponent's face. So well played by Ina right there. Definitely Ente has got to be kicking himself for not landing one of those kills when he got 2 surrounds. Very nicely played by the Orc. And yes, we are seeing very fast Wind Riders here. And really, Ente, I don't think he's scouted this, but he might be suspecting it. If he really can't deal with it with his current unit composition at all, he's just a sitting duck. He can't even attack Wind Riders. But perhaps it's his gamer sense. Perhaps he did scout it somehow. Ente is getting Gargoyles out, which will effectively counter. He did see Bestiary. He saw 1 Bestiary. Gargoyles will effectively deal with those Wind Riders, which is very good news for the Undead player, because he could have got caught by surprise by this Wind Rider strategy. I'm not sure how far Ina is going to go on the Wind Rider strat. He currently has 4 of them. 1 Blademaster and 1 Tauren Chieftain. Pretty scary army so far for the 7.5 minute mark. And are we going to see an expansion? Yes, he will be expanding. Nice Periapt of Vitality. He's probably going to keep that on the Blademaster. Just because he's squished here and he usually gets focused more in a heads-up battle. Meanwhile, we're seeing solo Dreadlord and a Death Knight on the way. Looks like Ente is going to be hiding his Gargs. He doesn't want his opponent to know that he is going Gargs. And this is quite a few Wind Riders right there. That's 4 Wind Riders. We're going to be very easily killing ghouls, and I don't know if he wants to reveal the Gargs. He is obviously going to, because he doesn't want to lose more than he already has to this Wind Rider strategy. And what was that? Scroll of Speed used, and only 1 of the Wind Riders was in range. Here comes the Death Knight. I don't know how much Ina's going to be able to get done with these Wind Riders now that we now have 3 Gargoyles on the field. That is enough to kill those Wind Riders with the proper micro. Plus he has Death Coil to keep them healed up. There's another Wind Rider on the way, and it looks like Ina is going to be getting out a couple Bat Riders. So he's going to stick with this air strategy, and he's going to try to get those Bat Riders to explode on a cluster of Gargoyles. Ente, being the experienced player he is, probably anticipates this coming. He actually went straight to tier 3 and now has his 3rd hero out. The Dark Ranger, he has showed his hand. And how will the Orc player be responding to this? Could be very nice timing on this counter creep. Invade. Who will get the last hit on that Red Drake? That's a pretty big deal. The item, Boots of Quel'The Lost +6. Blademaster definitely wants that. He did get it too, even though the Dreadlord was standing right next to that. Trying to get off a surround on the BM, but he does have mana for Windwalk, so not going to... Oh! Nice silence. Will he get the kill? He does get the kill. Slept him, then silenced him in the surround and killed the Blademaster. Very well played by Ente. Super effective anti-Blademaster strategy. And it looks like there was a bit of a feed there from one of these Gargoyles. Scroll of Speed just used. Really, really strong with that level 1 Endurance Aura. That's a lot of move speed on those flying units. But I'd have to say that Ina is in danger of losing his expansion and losing the game right now, as he was not expecting to get his Blademaster killed, and Ente is playing so well right now. Probably see a stomp go down on all these ghouls. Doesn't land on as many as he would like. Doesn't even get the kill on the Dark Ranger there. But he probably will. I don't think we have enveloped spears researched yet, which is the DOT. No, we do not. Sleep used on the Tauren Chieftain. Gets easily surrounded. Has no teleport. That's going to be a kill on the Tauren Chieftain. And level 2 Death Knight. Plus level 4 Dreadlord. Excuse me. I don't know how effective these Bat Riders have been against the Gargoyles. It doesn't seem that Ente is really relying too much on Gargoyles, anticipating the Bat Riders, and is instead going to transition to Crypt Fiends, which is a pretty smart move, considering that his opponent is already getting Bat Riders and appears to be investing pretty heavily into Bat Riders. So the Crypt Fiends don't have to worry about getting kamikazed on. They can just web the flying units and then Carrion Swarm, Death Coil ensues. Definitely Ina is in a tough place right now, though he did manage to get that expansion up and mining. Let's see if that actually plays out for him. We're going to see a silence again, probably, that we don't have the units to surround the Blademaster currently, and the Wind Rider Bat Rider strategy is pretty scary right now. We need to see a lot more Crypt Fiends come out. Nice surround, but does he have the damage to pull this off before the silence, or before freaking Dark Ranger just gets straight up crit and killed right there? Need to move in for another silence, otherwise that Blademaster will just wind walk away. Did he have the Dust of Appearance? I don't think he did. But yeah, very effective anti-Blademaster strategies here from Ente. Pretty frustrating, gotta be for Ente, getting his Blademaster totally smoked like that. Not very often you see it countered so effectively. I think the reason that we saw the level 1 Dreadlord was specifically because Ente wanted to hard counter BM in this matchup, just expecting at least starter Blademaster, but Blademaster at some point in the match. So Blademaster is an extremely dangerous hero if you don't deal with him, and I can't say I've seen him dealt with this effectively, at least not in a long time, as the tri-hero combination from the Undead player. It's very, very effective. We're probably going to see this Watchtower get denied. Where are our Crypt Fiends? We have 2 on the way, a 3rd on the way, but they're not in the battle, and there's a lot of air units here. How is Ente going to handle this much air damage with just ghouls and skeletal minions? Looks like he's going to have to teleport out of here from the looks of things. Especially he can't afford to lose those Crypt Fiends. He needs to wait until he has more Crypt Fiends. Blademaster taking a lot of focus fire. I gotta say, I'm surprised that Ente is staying in this battle, considering he doesn't really have an answer to this mass air right now. Death Knight now in danger of going down. Doesn't really have a solution for that. Death Knight does die. Still no teleport use from Ente. Where's that Dark Ranger? She is just dealing with mirror image Wind Riders. Ooh, my goodness. And we saw Crypt Fiend go down. It looked like Ente had the advantage there, but staying in this battle, underestimating the superiority of that Orc air damage, is costing him the match right now. Will the Blademaster survive? Not enough mana for a Wind Walk. And I think he's just fast enough to evade the range damage. Yeah, that's gotta be GG. Or at least close to it. Dark Ranger goes down, looked like to a stomp from the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain is so scary with Boots of Speed and the Endurance Aura, which is now level 2. He's able to chase down just about anybody. God, he's quick. Look at that. What a potent strategy. So I thought the Orc player was getting shut down super hard, but the Undead player overcommitted to try to take out this expansion and overstayed his welcome and lost everything. He really should have just kept these Crypt Fiends in his base and massed up enough of them to deal with that air. But instead, he lost his lead, and now that he doesn't have an expansion active, I don't see him coming back from this match unless Ina makes a really big mistake. So I mentioned I didn't know the skill level of Ina. I have seen Ente play against pro players in the past. So Ina is obviously a top tier player. He might even be a pro player in disguise that I'm not aware of. I just don't keep up with everybody's alternate usernames. But I I think he is going by Ina as his handle online, so maybe he's an up-and-coming player, or maybe I'm just ignorant and don't know Ina as a pre-existing force to be reckoned with. I'm not sure, but I am surprised to see him doing as well as he is right now, especially pulling off that super aggressive fast tech. Hood of Cunning drops. Going to give that to the Blademaster. +4 agility and intelligence. Blademaster is now looking very scary. Look at that, +22 damage, +12 agility. Ugh, disgusting damage. I don't think he even could deal with the Blademaster anymore. Crypt Fiends will just get hard countered by this extremely powerful Orc Hero combination. Level 5 on the Tauren Chieftain. That has got to be GG. Well played by Ina, pulling off that really risky mass air strategy and responding super well to that hard counter attempt on the Blademaster. There we go. Looks like Ente left the match. That was a really high level match. I enjoyed watching that, and interesting to see that Dreadlord level 1 starter hero. I do like what I saw from the Undead player. I think he just made one critical mistake and overcommitted trying to shut down an expansion instead of starting one of his own. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your viewership, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.